Hey guys, it's Ryan here with HobbiesofaMan once again, and today we're doing another comic book review. Today we're looking at Muse, and I guess this is not a comic book, this is a bande dessinée, which is a French-Belgian comic, right, or a European comic. It's written by Denis Pierre Philippi with art by Terry Dodson. So this is why this is kind of sold here in the States, as my understanding. It's the Terry Dodson artwork. Although his wife isn't the one that colors his work in this case. I can't remember who it is. Maybe it's himself. I can't remember. But it's published by Humanoids, which means you cannot get it physically. This is a digital-only type title. Although there was a physical print of this at some point, it is no longer available, or at least you'd have to get it from a collector, which means you'd have to buy it on eBay, and it's going to be very, very expensive, unless you can find somewhere where they sell it, and they don't realize that they're selling something that is pretty valued in the resale market. So Humanoids, I think they decided that they were no longer going to print stuff because it wasn't working out for them or something, and they're a digital only group now, which is annoying. I don't like that, but whatever. And the demographic for this is adult. This is about a woman and her sexuality and stuff like that. So it's about adult themes, right? And I actually don't think teenagers would even find this interesting. They might find it well, actually, never mind. Some teenagers might like it. Genre-wise, it's a historical fiction, and there's magical realism elements to it. It does not have adaptation. This is probably never gonna be adapted into anything. And ratings-wise, it's a 3.5 out of 5 for me. I like the artwork. I think there's some issues with the storytelling, and I'll talk about that in a bit. The premise here is that there's this beautiful woman who is sent to be a governess, which is like a special babysitter for a genius boy. And she's actually there because she's looking for her lost sister. It doesn't really get explained to you that clearly, but that's basically the idea here. So the plot line opens up with this woman. Like I said, she's beautiful, she's gorgeous and very buxom in all of this. Her name is Coraline, or Caroline, whatever you want to say that name as. And she arrives at this very nice iron rock gate, and she's allowed in. The gate opens, a massive steam-powered car shows up. She comments about the fact that it's a weird car, and the guy driving it, whose name is Ekmorn, tells her to hop in and that he's going to take her down to the mansion. The mansion is awesome, it's really cool. Coraline gets there, and she is assigned her rooms, and her job is explained to her. She is to care for this young man called Vernier, and this boy is eccentric and weird. He's a genius, and they need her to distract him from his work because he is obsessive, right? And Coraline thinks that she'll have an easy time of this. It's unclear to me if this is because she's like a hot lady and she knows it, and so she'll be able to get this teenage boy to do stuff with her because he'll develop a crush on her, or if it's because she's supposed to be someone that is a particularly fun person and someone very willing to engage with this child. It's kind of unclear. I do think that based on the drawing and the way that the fact that this is like a French guy writing this, I would assume that it's because she's hot, but it doesn't work either way, so it is what it is. So she goes on to meet him for the first time. They hang out together, they go on a boat. She ends up falling into the lake that they're on, and she loses the exchange with Vernier. She doesn't get him to relax. And then they have a nice special dinner at night, a very fancy event just between Caroline and Vernier. And she is asked to drink a special concoction that the boy makes that apparently basically allows her to access a different world, a dream world at night. And she's very confused because the dream feels so real that it's concerning to her, right? She wakes up from her, basically she wakes up in her dream. She goes into her drawer or her wardrobe and steps through it, kind of like Narnia. And there she meets two men who dress her up in fancy clothing and then sent through a door where she ends up on an adventure. And this is a process that gets repeated over and over again for the vast majority of this book, which is not very long, but it's long enough for notice these patterns, right? So the first time that she has a dream, she has a swashbuckling adventure. She is a beautiful dame captured by pirates. There is a young pirate man that saves her, and he tries to, put the moves on her. and she manages to stop him from doing it. She wakes up the next day, she goes to sleep again, and she wakes up in a dream this time, and it's Titanic crashing. Then she manages to find herself on an island, and we get a little bit of a Tarzan-esque kind of thing. And again, the guy tries to put moves on her, and she manages to stop him once again. And then another time happens, and this time she ends up kind of in a messy situation. There's a bunch of mixed fairy tales going on, and she doesn't know what's going on properly, but she's starting to understand that there's something up here, that drinking the juice or the concoction or whatever it is the thing that's doing this. And she is asked to go to town to buy more books because Vernier needs some new books to read because he's read everything in his library. And when she's there, she is told that she is working for a horrible person, that this person, or that the mansion steals the girls from the town, and she is part of the problem. Caroline is like, no, I didn't do anything, I'm just here for books. And she goes back home to the mansion and finally understands what it is. She is being fed this drink, it's doing stuff to her, and all of the other women have experienced the same thing, and they fall asleep lost in the dream. And she manages to find this room where they're all hidden, and she then takes a huge amount of this drink to make sure that the dream lasts as long as she needs it to, and she dives right in, and now she's in an Arabian Nights kind of vibe. And Coraline has to fight Vernier and win, and then find her sister in the dream, all the other girls that are lost, and help them escape. And along the process, she finds Vernier, the true version of Vernier, who is a young sad boy sleeping at the grave of his parents because he misses them and he doesn't know what to do. But in his dreams and these adventures that he has as he dreams, he doesn't feel sad, and so he continuously wants more of this. But every time that he brings a new woman in to help him, she gets lost in the dream and they become useless, and so he has to bring more and more in, or at least the people that work for him have to bring more and more in to keep this going. And it turns out that Coraline was thankfully the last one. She was here because she was looking for her little sister Celia, and all of the other girls are helped us along, and she escapes, and they escape, and then Vernier also comes back out of the dream, and he is now a normal kid once more, no longer dealing with the crushing weight of loss. And that's where the story ends, and it's very unsatisfying, to be honest with you. I think that I explained it to you in a way that feels very logical, but the way the story unfolds is very unclear. It's not like a dream state, or it's not like it's supposed to be unclear on purpose, or maybe it is, but it feels really annoying. It's not well done. It's not satisfying. It just feels like someone was like, okay, how can we get Terry Dodson to draw this hot lady in a bunch of different fairy tale inspired costumes? Okay, we could just ask him to do that and then make an art book about it. But what if we made it into a story? And then they got some random guy. I don't know who Denis Pierre Philippi is, but I assume that he's not a very good writer based on this. And he strung some sort of idea there to make it work. And the thing is that I don't think it works very well. I think the only redeeming quality about this is the artwork, right? The concept is good, but it's very badly executed. It needed another 100 or so pages, and it needed more structure, more clarity, and it's very disappointing that this doesn't have that, because half of it is amazing. The artwork is awesome, and I feel like it deserves a better story, right? So, yeah, in terms of characters, we have Coraline, Vernier, Garand, Ekborn, and Celia. So Coraline is the main character, Vernier is the boy, Garand is the headmistress of the house, or like the main maid, I guess. Ekborn is the kind of butler or engineer or whatever you want to call him. And Celia is Coraline's younger sister. In terms of world building, there's none. We don't know where the juice comes from. We don't know why Vernier is able to, do all of these amazing technological advancements that no one else seems to have. We don't know anything about anything, except that Coraline wanted to go save her sister because her sister was lost. Artwork and fan service wise, the artwork is amazing. Terry Dodson draws these beautiful, buxom, very thick women, and she looks amazing, and all of the other female characters look amazing too. And all of the different outfits and all of the different stories and settings that They put the character in, make her come off very, very beautiful. And of course, there's a little bit of fan service here. You know, there's nudity, there's implied nudity, there's, you know, just very showy kind of moments, right? Very, very tasteful and very sexy, but not particularly grotesque, right? There's nothing too explicit about anything. And so the artwork in the fan service is amazing. I think it's very, very well done. It's just a shame that the story doesn't have the same caliber as the artwork here. Ratings wise, 3.5 out of 5. There is some enjoyment here, but it's mostly due to the artwork. The story is very, very badly written. I don't know who this guy is, you know, Denis Pierre, but I don't think I'll read anything by him anymore. I'll definitely read some Terry Dodson work though, because even if he's not a good storyteller, his artwork is at least very, very good. And from what I know, his storytelling is like fine. It's not like bad, but it's not amazing. It's definitely better than Denis Pierre's, at least in my understanding of it, right? So yeah, otherwise there really isn't too much else to say. So those are my thoughts on Muse. Let me know what you thought. You know, what do you think about this story if you've read it? If you haven't read it before, what do you think about it based on what I've said, right? Like, would you read it? Is kind of the question I'm asking here. So yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys later.